Alright, boys and girls, today for guided reading, we will be reading How to Put on a Class Play. This is a realistic fiction book, and if you look right here in our mini anchor chart, it says realistic fiction. Stories are made up, but they could happen in real life. We're still going to have our characters, our setting, and our events. Remember, the beginning and middle and end of a story make up the plot. There are a lot of events that happen within a story, and they will tell us different ideas and details about the text. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a prediction about what we think this story is going to be about before we read. So I want you to look at the front cover. Okay. Let's see. Chloe, what do you think this book will be about?
I think this book will be about one class teaching other classes how to make do a class play. Put on a class play.
Very good. That's a great observation.
Included the title.
You included the title. I love that. What do you think, Lily?
I think they're showing their parents how to put on a class play and like the theme like is underwater.
Ooh, so Lily is using her illustrations to guess the theme, to make a prediction about the theme of the play. Sarah, what do you think this story is going to be about?
I think it's going to be about and basically just telling you.
Right, so similar to what they said. Very good. Lily, what do you already know to be true about plays?
Like teaching and like sometimes people dance.
Very good. So we have singing and dancing. What else do you know about plays, Chloe?
Having fun and getting to do fun events with your friends.
I love that. And
Classmates.
oh, I love that. And what do you know about plays, Sarah?
That like teaching like different costumes and then
And you can play different characters, right? Very good. Yeah. My friends, let's set our expectations for guided reading. I need us sitting up nice and tall. Can you show me? Nice and tall. We're going to keep our books flat on our table. Even while we're reading, we're going to keep them flat. And let's make sure, let's do a math check. They should be on over our mouth and our nose. Okay? And flip open our story. Okay? And I need everyone to flip open their story. And we are going to look at our table of contents. Whenever we have a book with different chapters in it, we have a table of contents. So we see that we're going to start with the play on page 2. Now remember, we're going to keep our books nice and flat on our table. So go ahead and flip.
Wait, we're gonna like take turns reading?
Yes, we're going to take turns reading. So we'll start with Lily, then go to Chloe, and then Sarah. So Lily, I would like for you to read the title and the entire first page.
play. Last night, our class put on a play at our school. We spent 6 weeks preparing for our play. At the first class meeting, we picked a date for our performance. But the most important thing we had to do was find the right play.
Good job, Chloe. How long does it take the class to prepare for the play?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Very good. Very
That's a
good.
long time.
Very good.
My play, it only took me. I actually had this play last year. It was fun. It was about Jesus.
Oh, it was.
At my church, and I wanted to do it this year, but I'm pretty sure it got canceled because of COVID-19.
Oh, okay. So that's a good
And I
connection.
saw the person that did the play. That was the instructor of the
So the
play.
director of the
She was
play.
in an ad.
Oh, wow. So she must be really important.
And,
Awesome. Oh, let's all get in our brain and we'll share some more stories in a little bit. Before we go to our next page, can you flip back to page 2? I have one more question. Sarah, what does the class do at their first meeting?
They pick a day for their performance.
And what else do they do?
They have to find the right play.
Very good. And before we flip again, the focus of us reading this story today is not only to talk about what a realistic fiction story includes, to find the plot, the beginning, middle, and end, all of that stuff that we've been talking about in our reading lessons, but it's also to talk about the key ideas and details, right? Just like Mr. mentioned before, our plot is going to give us so many interesting details about what our story is about. So as we're reading, she's going to be asking us different questions, okay? So let's go ahead and flip. And
After our meeting, we went to look for plays in the library. Everyone liked the play about a lonely shark who wanted to make friends with some other sea creatures. The Lonely Shark is a comedy set beneath the sea. We thought that the audience would really enjoy it. Thing to talk about. A A comedy makes people laugh. Most comedies have a happy ending.
Good, very good job, Chloe. And before we go to the next page, what Ms. True's going to do is I'm going to use my sequence chart, and we are going to keep track of all of the things that the students are doing to prepare for their play.
Go back to.
So that's a great idea, Chloe. Let's go back, and we're going to find some text evidence, and it's actually the same text evidence that Sarah shared with us. So Sarah, can you repeat what is the first thing that the class did to prepare for their play?
They had to pick a date for the performance.
Very good. So I'm going to write picked a day for their performance.
Put day instead.
Oh, that's okay. And I'm going to abbreviate performance to PERF. And I'm going to stick it performance, just so I didn't have enough room. And I'm going to stick it right here. That is the first thing that our class did to prepare for their play. Okay? What is the second thing that the class did, Sarah?
They also had to find play.
They had to find the right play, right? They couldn't just do any play. They had to find the right play. So I'm going to write find the right play. And I love that Sarah took the evidence directly from the text. Very good. Okay? Now, let's go ahead
You want me
to reread. That's okay, but I do have some questions before we move on to page 6, okay? Lily, what play do they choose?
The Lonely Shark.
Very good, and I want you to notice how the Lonely Shark, can you point to it in your book? Very good. The Lonely Shark is italicized. That means it's slanted. Whenever you have the name of a play in a story, the proper way to type that play or to write that play is to italicize it. Very good. And we also have a bold word. Can you point to the bold word on page 4? What is that bold word? And you guys can say it. Very good, audience. Do you think that that word's going to be important?
Yes.
If it's bold, it is very good. That's a word that we need to make sure we understand before we keep reading. What is an audience?
A big crowd of people.
A big crowd of people. Very good. And they are ready to listen to something or to watch something. Very good. Let's go to page 6 and we're going to listen to Sarah read.
Directors and audience. In addition.
Good.
Next, we had to pick a director for the play. Josh and Carly both wanted a job. Everyone agreed that we should have 2 directors because there is so much to do. Then we had auditions. We had to find the right actors for the play.
Good job.
We sat in a circle and took turns reading from the script. After that, Josh and Carly asked how roles we wanted to play.
Very good. So before we continue, I see 4 more bold words. I see director, actors, script, and role. So before we continue, let's talk about these different words. A director is the person that writes and directs the play. Okay, they're very important. Then we have our actors. Those are the people who act in the play. Our script. Now, if it says we sat in a circle, okay, one second. We sat in a circle and took turns reading from the script. So I'm going to use my context clues to try to figure out what script means if I didn't know. Well, if we see our actors, and I'm going to use my illustration on page 7. I see them sitting in a circle, and our text says they took turns reading from the script. That tells me that the script is something that the actors use to learn their lines and stage directions for a play, okay? And then we have roles, okay? The roles are kind of like the characters. So if I have the role, for example, when we read A Crow, a Lion, and a Mouse, Oh My, if I have the role of a crow, that means the character I'm playing is the crow, okay? And back to Lily. You guys are doing great.
I wanted to be one of the 3 jellyfish characters because they did funny dance. At the end of the audience, I was really excited to find out that I have been chosen as a jellyfish. Ryuga and Sora were going to be a jellyfish too. Now that we knew our roles, we could start the
Rehearsals.
rehearsal.
Very good. And before we flip, I'm going to ask us.
audience for audition.
That's okay. That's okay. They're kind of similar, aren't they? Now, but before we continue, I'm going to ask you some more questions about our key ideas and details from our story that's going to help us understand it a little better. So, Sarah, why does the class agree to have 2 directors?
Because then there's too much work to do.
There's so much to do. Very, very good. And Lily, who will be the jellyfish?
Rita and Sarah.
Very good. Very good. And I love how you guys are looking back in your story whenever you're trying to find an answer. That means you're really trying to find that text evidence. Very good. So,
Is this third person or first person? Because it says the word I.
oh, that is an excellent question, Miss Chloe. And I was actually about to address that really quick with you guys. So, she said, wait, is this first or third person? Because I see the word I. I wanted to be one of the 3 jellyfish characters because they did a funny dance. At the audition, I was really excited to find out that I had been chosen as a jellyfish, okay? So, Reza and Sora were going to be jellyfish too. Now, when we have our 2 spelled T-O-O, that means also. So we don't only have 1 jellyfish, we have 3, okay? We have the narrator, Reza, and Sora. So very good. The story is currently being told from first person point of view, but we don't know who that is yet, do we?
I do.
You do?
Her.
You think it's her? What do you think? Who do you think is telling the story?
The boy.
You think it's the boy? Who do you think, Sarah? Ooh, so we all think it's someone different, so we're going to have to keep reading to find out.
Who does she think it is?
She thinks it is this little friend in the yellow, okay?
Oh.
All right, very good. Now, before we continue again, let's remember, most plays only have 1 director, okay? It's uncommon for plays to have more than 1 director, so that must mean there's really a lot to do. Now, I want you to think, and lock it in your brain. Would you rather be the director of the play or a jellyfish? Would you rather play the role of the jellyfish or the role of the director? And I'm going to ask each of you, okay? So, Sarah, go first.
Director.
Why would you rather be the director?
So I can direct the play.
So you can direct the play, right? So maybe you would want to be in charge of everybody.
Stage fright.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I love that. Very good. What would you rather do, Chloe?
Jellyfish.
You'd rather be the jellyfish. Why?
I don't really care what kind of actor, character I am in the play.
Okay.
'Cause
But you'd want to be a jellyfish.
I want to be a jellyfish because instead of me getting stung by a jellyfish, I get to sting other people.
Oh, okay. That's funny. What about you,
I
Lily?
would rather be the director because I'll be like the head of the role and I could tell people what to
Oh,
do.
it's like Kari and
Right. You agree? I would probably
They both
want to.
agree.
Yeah.
They both agree.
So they would direct you as the jellyfish, huh? Very good.
Yeah, that ain't fair. 2 girls against me. That ain't fair.
That's funny.